No. Good evening, everyone. I want to share a simple idea with you today. Something so small, yet so powerful that it can truly change your life. It's not a big investment. It doesn't require money, and anyone, anywhere in the world, can do it. Just 1 hour a day. You see, when I was younger, I wasn't the smartest in the room. In fact, I failed a lot. I failed school exams. I was rejected from jobs, dozens of them, even when I applied to be a waiter. I was told, "You're not good enough." But what I had was time, and I decided that if I could give myself just 1 hour a day, I would not waste it. 1 hour a day. Not for working, not for entertainment, but for growing. Some people use 1 hour to read a book. Some learn a new language. Some build a skill. Coding, painting, writing. One of my friends taught himself English just by reading newspapers out loud every day. Another friend learned to fix motorcycles and opened a repair shop. 1 hour a day may not look like much. No. But let me ask you, what did you do yesterday with that hour before bed? What will you do tonight? The difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck often comes down to this 1 hour. Not talent, not money, not connections. Just what they do, day after day with the little free time they have. We all have 24 hours. The rich, the poor, the busy, the lazy, everyone. But most people use that extra hour to complain, scroll, or sleep a little longer. If you can use that same hour to improve just 1%, and you do that every day, in 1 year, you're not the same person anymore. In 5 years, people will say, "You're so lucky." But it's not luck. It's compound effort. I'm not here to give you a secret formula. I'm telling you what works. Wake up an hour earlier. Sleep an hour later. Turn off your phone for 1 hour. Use that hour to study, to reflect, to build. Every empire starts small. Some start with just an hour a day. And let me tell you something, it will be hard. You will want to quit. People will laugh at you. They'll say, "Why are you wasting your time?" But the future is built by people who can ignore the noise, focus on the work, and believe that small steps, repeated, can climb mountains. So try it. 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day can transform your future. This idea might seem too simple, too small to matter, but simplicity is often the most powerful force in life. Every person in the world has 24 hours each day. What makes the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not how much time they have, but how they use the little extra time available. Just 1 hour, 60 minutes. Used with purpose can be the starting point of something incredible. Most people spend day on routines, are going to work or school, completing tasks, meeting responsibilities. These are necessary, but they don't usually lead to personal transformation. The truth is, transformation rarely happens during the normal flow of your day. It happens in the hours when no one is watching, when there are no deadlines, and when you have a choice. Scroll on your phone, watch TV, or invest that time into yourself. That choice, repeated every day, is where futures are shaped. Imagine a person who decides to spend 1 hour a day learning something new, reading about business, practicing a language, studying technology, or even just reflecting on their life and decisions. At first, the results may not be visible. There are no awards for reading a book today or writing a page in your notebook. But over time, this daily discipline adds up. After a year, that's 3,065 hours. That's more than 2 weeks of full-time focused work. Most people never give themselves that kind of time, yet complain they never have a chance to improve. This 1 hour becomes even more powerful because of something called compound growth. Just like money invested wisely grows with interest. Time invested in self-improvement grows with knowledge, skill, and confidence. 1 hour today is not just about what you learn. It's about who you become. You start seeing problems differently. You start making decisions with greater clarity. You begin to believe in your ability to grow. And that belief alone opens more doors than you can imagine. The beauty of 1 hour a day is that it doesn't require a perfect plan or expensive tools. You don't need to quit your job, change your environment, or wait for better conditions. All you need is the discipline to say, "This hour is mine." No. And I will use it to become better than I was yesterday. It could be early in the morning before the world wakes up, during your lunch break, or late at night when everything is quiet. The time itself is not what matters. It's what you do with it. Some people spend years looking for a breakthrough, a lucky break, or a mentor to guide them. But most breakthroughs come after long periods of quiet work. They come from small, repeated efforts that nobody sees. When you commit to 1 hour a day, you are creating the space for these breakthroughs to happen. You are telling yourself that your growth is a priority, that your goals are worth your time. Discipline is not about doing big things once in a while. It's about doing small things every day. No. It's easy to get inspired after a speech or a motivational video, but it's much harder to stick with a habit when there's no applause. That's why 1 hour a day is so powerful. It's a test of your consistency, your focus, and your belief in yourself. Consistency beats talent over time. Talent can give someone a head start, but it is consistency that allows someone to finish the race. In life, you will see many people who are naturally gifted. Quick learners, fast thinkers, charismatic speakers. But many of them fail to reach their full potential because they rely too heavily on their talent. On the other hand, no. There are people who may not be the fastest or the smartest, but they keep showing up. They work every day, learn from their mistakes, and keep pushing forward. Over time, they grow stronger, more capable, and more prepared than those who once seemed far ahead. In school, the student who studies a little each day often outperforms the one who crams at the last minute, even if the latter has more raw intelligence. In business, no. The entrepreneur who steadily builds their company day by day often creates something sustainable, while others try to rush and burn out quickly. Consistency brings progress, even when the steps are small. What matters is not how big each step is, but that you keep moving forward without stopping. Many people underestimate how powerful steady effort can be. They look for big changes, dramatic transformations, and instant results. But real success rarely works like that. It's not one giant leap that changes your life. It's the quiet, repeated actions. No. When you do something every day, whether it's writing, learning, exercising, or practicing a skill, you slowly become better. Even if the improvement is small, it adds up. After a month, you notice a change. After a year, others notice it. After 5 years, no. People call you, talented. But what they don't see is the work you did consistently behind the scenes. One reason consistency is more powerful than talent is because talent without discipline fades. Someone may have natural ability, but if they don't use it, it weakens. Meanwhile, someone who practices every day, even if they start with no special skill, can surpass the talented person who does nothing. This happens in sports, music, art, and business. The world is full of stories where the underdog rose to the top, not because they had the most talent, but because they were the most consistent. Another thing about consistency is that it builds confidence. When you keep a promise to yourself every day, even in small things, you begin to trust yourself more. You stop waiting for motivation because you've built a habit. You don't rely on how you feel. No, because you've decided who you want to become. That daily action, no matter how simple, becomes part of your identity. You no longer say, I want to become better. You start to believe, I am becoming better. A talent can open a door, but consistency is what helps you walk through it. No, it teaches patience, resilience, and focus. Life is unpredictable, and even talented people will face failure. No. But the person who has trained themselves to keep going, no matter what, will have the strength to overcome setbacks. No. That strength doesn't come from a gift. It comes from repeated effort, even on days when you don't feel like it. Consistency also builds momentum. When you do something every day, it gets easier. You begin to see patterns, gain insights, and find smarter ways to improve. Your effort becomes more efficient, and your growth accelerates. People often ask how to stay motivated, but the truth is, motivation often follows action. When you see progress, even small progress, it encourages you to keep going. And the best way to see progress is not to do something once or twice. It's to do it over and over again without quitting. A small daily efforts compound into big results. This is a principle that applies across every area of life. Learning, health, relationships, business, and personal development. The mistake many people make is thinking that only big actions lead to meaningful change. They wait for the perfect time, big opportunity, or the right mood before they act. But progress doesn't come from doing something massive once in a while. It comes from the small, consistent actions you take every single day, even when they don't seem to matter in the moment. Think about water dripping on a rock. One drop means nothing. Even 100 drops seem to have no effect. But over time, that steady dripping can carve through solid stone. That is the power of compounding effort. What you do every day might feel small. Reading 10 pages, writing 1 paragraph, practicing for 30 minutes. But those small actions build on each other. After a month, you've read a book. After a year, you've written a novel. After a few years, you've mastered a skill. The results appear slowly. No. Then suddenly. People often give up not because their goals are impossible, but because they don't see immediate results. They think that if something is worth doing, it should pay off quickly. But growth doesn't follow a straight line. For a long time, it feels like nothing is changing. Then, all at once, everything changes. This is the tipping point that only those who stay consistent get to experience. No, those who quit too soon never see the reward, even if they were just one step away from a breakthrough. The reason small efforts are so effective is because they create habits. When you do something daily, it becomes part of your routine, and over time, part of your identity. You don't have to think about it or force yourself. It becomes automatic. Habits reduce the mental resistance that often holds people back. Once a habit is in place, even on difficult days, you still show up. That is when progress becomes inevitable. In business, the most successful companies don't become giants overnight. They start small. Solving one problem at a time, serving one customer at a time. Day by day, they improve their product, learn from their mistakes, and grow stronger. The same goes for personal success. A person who commits to improving 1% each day doesn't seem impressive at first. But 1% improvement every day, compounded over a year, is not just a little better. It's transformational. Another power of small efforts is that they remove excuses. Anyone can find a few minutes a day. You don't need special resources, perfect conditions, or extra time. You just need to start. If your goal is to get healthier, start with a short walk. If you want to become more knowledgeable, start by reading one page. If you want to be a better communicator, speak for 5 minutes in front of a mirror. These actions are small enough that they don't intimidate you, but consistent enough to build real momentum. Many people chase motivation, waiting for the right emotional spark to act. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. What works better is a small routine that you commit to no matter how you feel. Over time, that routine builds discipline. And discipline creates results. People looking from the outside might not understand how you changed. They only see the outcome, not the daily effort behind it. But you will know. You will remember the small decisions you made every day. The times you chose effort over comfort, progress over perfection. Every big result you admire started as a small step. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful journey began with a single decision to keep going, one day at a time. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not as wide as it looks. It's filled with simple, consistent actions, done daily, without excuses, without waiting. Use your free hour to grow, not to escape. In today's world, time is one of the most valuable resources we have. Make strong. Most people complain they don't have enough of it, yet when they do get a little free time, they use it to disconnect from reality rather than invest in their future. After a long day, it's easy to scroll through social media, binge watch shows, or play games. These activities offer comfort and distraction, but they rarely bring growth. That 1 hour, the time you think is just for relaxing, can become the most powerful hour of your day if you choose to use it differently. Growth doesn't always mean doing something difficult or extreme. It means doing something intentional. It means using that time to improve yourself, even in small ways. You can use that hour to read, to plan, to reflect, to learn a new skill, or to strengthen your mind and body. Strong. The key is to shift your thinking. Instead of seeing that hour as a reward for surviving the day, start seeing it as a gift to shape your tomorrow. When you make this shift, everything begins to change. Everyone needs rest, but rest is not the same as escape. Rest is about recovery and renewal. Escape is about avoiding responsibility. The problem is that the line between the two has become blurred. Watching one episode to relax becomes watching four. A few minutes of scrolling becomes an hour of mindless content. Over time, these patterns steal not only your time, but also your confidence. You start to feel stuck, unproductive, and disconnected from your goals. You're busy, yet you're not moving forward. The people who grow the fastest aren't the ones with the most talent or opportunity. They are the ones who make better use of their time. No. They treat that extra hour not as something to spend, but something to invest. Even if they're tired, they take a few minutes to read something meaningful. No. Write down their thoughts, learn a new idea, or take action on a goal. They understand that progress is not about waiting for perfect conditions. No, but about doing what they can with what they have where they are. When you use your free hour to grow, your mindset changes. You stop seeing yourself as a passive consumer and start becoming a creator of your own future. Instead of just absorbing content, you begin to build knowledge. Sharpen your thinking and create opportunities. You feel more in control, more energized, and more motivated. That small shift in how you spend your time can ripple out into every part of your life. One of the most powerful things you can do in your free hour is reflect. No. Spend time thinking about what went right today, what you could improve, what you've learned, and where you want to go next. These questions help you connect with your purpose and keep your life aligned with your values. They bring clarity, and clarity leads to better decisions. A growth is not always about doing more. It's often about understanding yourself better so you can do less, but do it more effectively. Sometimes people say they don't know where to start. The answer is simply start small. Use that 1 hour to explore. Read about something you're curious about. Watch a documentary that challenges your thinking. Practice a skill that interests you. Write down your goals, even if they're not clear yet. The point is not to master something immediately, but to start building momentum. When you use your time this way, you begin to develop a growth habit. And once it becomes a habit, it starts to change who you are and how you live each day. There will always be distractions. No. Always something more entertaining or easier to do. But easy is not the same as valuable. That free hour holds potential. The way you use it reflects your priorities, your discipline, and your vision for yourself.